Welcome back, Collaborate Forever, episode 7. We are back where we began, the top of a bluff, 400 feet above our parked cars below us. We schlepped our gear up here. I don't know, we kind of just wind down the season with this. This is just a short little podcast for you, just kind of wrapping things up and letting you know what's going on for season 2 in 2022. See ya. Episode, we are debating what we call this 6.5 or 7. I think it's just 7, considering all the effort we did.
This is definitely another full episode.
Full episode. Full circle.
Full circle. We wanted to come back to where we started. This whole journey, this whole podcast, climbing up 500 feet of elevation, dragging maybe 4 bags of gear, not sweating one bit.
No, but we did learn.
Yes.
We learned a few things. We packed tighter. Things we learned over the course of the year, but by far all the episodes we did, this episode and the first one were the most difficult logistically.
Oh yeah, we definitely challenged ourselves. Our thought process in the beginning of starting this project was not limiting ourselves to a studio setting and being outside, and we definitely nailed that. I would say 90% of the time. We did one indoor episode, mainly just to kind of show off the store of Good Style. That was really pretty. Definitely learned a lot. There's a lot of noise outside, so we kind of had to embrace some airplanes, some traffic, but I almost enjoyed that, and it was fun hearing people's responses to the podcast and hearing like birds in the background and just nature. People found that very pleasing, and so yeah, that was a kind of cool element to this style of podcasting.
Yeah, and it feels really good to be back here. Is it April, May when we do the first episode?
I think it was May, and then we released it I think we released it Memorial Day. Yeah, so we did. Yeah, our first recording was in May. Yeah, and I mean our backdrop. It's just really cool being here. It's full circle. I mean, the leaves had just come out, so it was pretty green. None of these sort of grasses were here, and now here we are at the end of the season where there aren't really any birds because everyone started migrating out of here. There's no insects. It's pretty quiet. It's a bit colder. Last time we were here, it was probably high 70s.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of creeping in the 50s, but it's perfect. It feels great out here, though. The air is crisp.
It is. Yeah. So, I don't know. We can just real quick kind of walk through some of the highlights, some things we've learned over the season. Our first one was, I'll let you lead with our first one. Second one, I guess.
Yeah, just like the logistics behind the production was kind of a cool hurdle to kind of learn each episode what gear we needed. And I kind of felt like I was overpacking in the beginning, and then we kind of got like a lighter load down. So our in and out for production setup has gotten to like a really good streamline. And that's been really awesome. And just learning the process of like audio recording. Like I went to school for film and I learned how to like mic up an interview, but this is a little bit higher quality production on the audio side of things. So kind of going through those steps and those motions has been really rewarding and a good learning process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the other important thing is like if we hadn't done this, I mean, I heard this from a lot of people throughout the season. It was like how it's really cool that we're actually doing something. Like everyone talks about ideas, and we do. I mean, everybody does. We all have grand ideas, but it takes a lot of effort to actually execute on them. And I mean, I'm proud of the work we put in. And like even like you bought this gear during the pandemic, and if we'd never had a simple discussion or even just like thrown anything out there, who knows? This stuff could have been sitting in a closet all year.
Yeah.
So it's really, really cool and important to know that. Sometimes you just have to jump in and do it. We didn't have a plan for this.
Yeah, and that's what like made it most exciting. It's like we're both photographers. I definitely wanted to do a creative project, but I also just didn't want to just limit ourselves to photography. And so just diving into a deeper and like harder production of audio and podcasting and filming all at the same time was really cool and unique. And so it just really challenged us to think outside the box and again, not limit ourselves to an indoor setting. So that's been really awesome, just to like get out in nature. Like this is one of the most beautiful places that I can think of within 20 minutes of Madison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, we've proved, like this was our proof of concept, and I mean, we've more than proved that we can host a podcast almost anywhere. As long as it's not raining, or too windy, but it's pretty cool that we can have high quality audio and a mini set. I mean, anywhere.
That's definitely one thing that I learned is like being outside. The wind definitely picks up on the microphones, and we just embraced it. There's obviously moments where we could maybe pause the interview, but again, like you get out there and all right, there's elements that we're working with here. It isn't just a breeze. Like every episode was a challenge.
It was in its own way.
Yeah, we're thinking to like hibernate over the winter, come back in the spring with season 2 and kind of see and build our roster over the next few months. So if there's anyone else listening right now, reach out to us. If you have any ideas or you want to collaborate in any form with an episode, or if you're interested in hosting or even just being a guest on our podcast, definitely reach out to us. We have a few months to think about where we want to take the next phase of season 2, and there's going to be some element changes, but also it's just going to be us outside doing our thing.
And we're also looking for advertisers. So if you've been listening and you want us to do a live read, we'll do a live read for you. So we're kind of open to anything for season 2.
Yeah, this has definitely just been a passion project. So this first season was really awesome because it was just our work. It was our labors to put into this project, and it's been very rewarding. A very humbling project, takes time, and it's a process. But again, it's just every time I listen to some of the episodes that we've already recorded, they sound amazing. All the stories are just like so authentic and just real.
Yeah.
We're not just trying to like interview celebrities. We just want to interview people in the Madison area that are just doing badass things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think we did a pretty good job of sort of weaving together the guest roster and who we interviewed. And we had a couple chefs, a politician, muralist, painter, illustrator, cinematographer, photographer, good style shop. So we had retail. You know, we just wanted to come full circle here and complete the season where we began it. And I think we are going to take a little bit of a winter break, a hibernation, to sort of just let things sink in a little bit, reassess, and kind of retool for season 2. And I envision it being somewhat of an extension from what we're doing now. Interesting people doing interesting things around Madison or Dane County. Really, the sky's the limit. I mean, we could even ultimately take this on the road as well.
Yeah.
Go to a different state. But yeah, I mean, it's been really interesting, and I think we're both excited to sort of leverage our successes this season into next year. And on our level, we've decided to collaborate a little bit too, combine our studios, which when we recorded our first episode, we didn't really have much in the works for that, but over the course of this season, we figured out that we can work pretty well together, at least in a commercial setting. So we're going to start working on a few projects for clients and brands later this year, and hopefully a lot more into next year.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone that has listened to our podcast, and to anyone out there that is gaining inspiration or just feeling good about the connections and the people that we're networking with. We just really want to grow a community around this podcast. It's really not about us. We really want to like showcase and discover new stories. So thank you to everyone that has been following along, liking the Instagram and subscribing to our newsletter. That's been super awesome. Tell your friends and family. Yeah, this is definitely just a cool experience for us, and we just want to keep sharing it with others.
Sounds good. Yeah, I mean, looking back on the season, sitting in this chair over here and sitting across from these 5 different guests from really all walks of life, and for me, it was really inspiring to see and hear other people talk like in person. As opposed, I mean, I listen to a lot of podcasts, but it was really cool sitting in this chair and actually hearing someone in these earphones and staring at them in the eyes and just going over like what's driven them, where they've come from, where they want to go. And for me personally, it's really helped me through this year, because this is a big transition year for me as well, just to see other people grinding away. And they're all super passionate. I don't like using that word. It's kind of overused, but they're driven for sure. And for them, there's really just no end in sight. Like, they have their mission and they just want to keep building on that and building on their successes. So for me, on a personal level, it was really cool sitting in this chair. So I'm grateful for everybody that agreed to do this podcast. I really, really, really want to inspire other people to go down their path, because like I said, I heard this numerous times from other people who'd heard the podcast, like, it's so cool that you're doing that. I've had X idea and I've never executed on it. And I guess, my sort of message is, and this is just a little anecdotal story, but Gary Vaynerchuk has this little viral clip that he was at a stoplight in a cab or an Uber in New York, and someone recognized him. One of his fans recognized him on the street while he was sitting there, and she rapped on the window, and he rolled it down, and she says, "Gary, give me some quick advice, or give me a little bit of inspiration," right before the light turns green. And he looks at her and he says, "You're going to die." And then rolls up the window and off they go. I mean, that's like kind of what drives me. I mean, and if anything, the last 2 years has taught us, like, yeah, we are super fragile, and your time here is limited. So don't wait.
Yeah.
I mean, I've also heard this a lot from other people, like, I don't know how to start. I don't have a network. I'm not social. I'm kind of an introvert. And I'm like, well, I point back to Jordan's episode where he just thought, like, he didn't know how to become a director. He knew he wanted to be, so he reverse engineered thing, became an actor, and kind of learned. He just sort of took it from a different angle. My advice is just make it happen somehow, some way. And the other thing is be open to everybody you cross paths with. You have no idea who you're talking to or who you are getting road rage at on the bout line. It could be someone that you could actually end up being good buddies with, friends with, business partners with. You have no idea.
Yeah.
So be open to everybody and look at even if you have a small inner circle or you don't have many friends, look at who you have. Maybe they have somebody. And this has happened to me a couple of times this year. I've been at a few functions and I met somebody I'd never known before through a friend, and now we're doing stuff. So that's my advice, is use this podcast as like just a source of inspiration. That's what I really want to do going forward, is to like catch someone's ear and be like, oh, those guys did it, I can do it too.
Definitely. Yeah, I love that mindset of just kind of getting after it, live for the day. Like, I definitely have had challenges in my life where it just really puts that into perspective. All right, how long could we be here for? Let's just make it happen. And creating art, connecting with people, and sharing stories, and being able to document that with a camera, displaying that online, and like growing business for other people. It's just been such a fun experience for me as a business owner. And then now that we're able to like collaborate our services together, the sky's the limit.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I don't know. I'm just, honestly, the ender is I'm looking out at, at these hills.
Turning and looking at this landscape right now. We were talking about this. This is a painting.
It is. It's like just the way the sun's oriented and it's hitting all these trees. I mean, that looks like a painting.
We are going to plug the Instagram. Go to Collaborate Forever on Instagram. You're going to see this photo. You're going to see this vision that Adam and I are looking at right now, because this is kind of why we picked this spot. This is classic Wisconsin landscape.
It is. Yep. I don't know. I'm super proud of what we did.
It's just been a fun experience. It's been a challenge. And so I like working through those challenges. That's kind of been my process for creating art. It's never easy. Mm-mm. And you just got to kind of walk through the steps. And we did 6 episodes, and now I feel very comfortable recording 6 more. Mm-hmm. So you just got to start somewhere and follow your steps and follow your heart, and you're going to make it happen.
That's right.
We're really excited that you guys are listening and checking this out. We're going to be back a few months from now, but yeah, we'll check in later.
That's right. We're signing off for season 1. We'll see you 2022.
Later.
See you. That's all for today. Thanks for listening. Be sure to visit collaborateforever.com for episode news, upcoming drops, and to sign up for our newsletter. Also check us out on social media, Collaborate Forever, across all platforms. See ya.